Is it worth it to get your real estate license?
I were to take that test tomorrow, I would fail.
Yeah,
Honestly,
for a fact.
I probably would fail. There's always going to be a seller that calls you on the weekend or whatever case may be, after hours if you're with your family on a weekday.
Yeah.
So I don't like that you really don't have your freedom, whereas the investing side of things, it's like we do our follow-up calls when we want, and if the person calls us back and we don't want to answer, that's on us.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to hurt our business.
It's going to hurt the business.
So we better answer.
Yeah, we're going to answer.
It's not like a requirement.
I feel like if I gave up investing and focused fully on being an agent, I could definitely, I know I could be successful with being an agent. Welcome back to the Investor Unite podcast, where we talk all things real estate, business, and entrepreneurship.
If you are looking to ignite your real estate investing.
If you're looking to ignite your real estate, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to keep going, I'm sorry. There was something funny going on. If you're looking to ignite your real estate investing, then join us at Investors Unite. And on today's episode, we have hit episode number 34.
Let's go.
The big 3-4.
Yeah.
Rather impressive. Please subscribe if you haven't already.
Yep.
Smash that like button. Leave some comments. We'd love to introduce those into one of our future episodes. Go ahead and answer some of the questions that the audience might have. But as far as today goes, we're going to be discussing, is it worth it to get your real estate license?
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum. In 2024.
Yep. 2024, 2025, Yep. It's coming up here pretty fast.
Absolutely.
And a lot has been changing within the real estate market. I know most of the time we talk about investing side of things, rental properties, wholesaling. But
we've had a couple agents on here.
Yeah.
They all had their own little niche and what they specialize in. But in general, we've never actually really discussed is it worth it to be an agent, or is it better just to be strictly an investor and not have your license associated with that?
Right.
So that's something we're going to dive into today. Stefanie herself, you do have your real estate license.
Yep.
You've had it for 4 years now?
Yeah, that's crazy. 4 years.
You're getting old, bro.
Yeah, that's insane to look. Yeah, time flies by.
Myself, Skyler plot. That was so. Anyways, I do not have my license. I'm strictly an investor, partnered up with this wonderful being over here.
Thank you.
Of course, and we kind of have a different perspective, I guess you could say, because a lot of we'll dive into it.
Yeah,
but
let's just go off. I mean, with me getting my real estate license, I had a lot of thoughts about it, going into the business.
Yeah.
Number one, I thought I was going to be my own boss. They portray that, you're your own boss. You're going to make so much money. Your schedule is going to be however you want it, basically.
It's delusional.
And I got into it complete opposite.
Yeah.
But we can go back even further with the license part, getting your license in general.
I burped.
I will say getting the license was somewhat easy. It wasn't a difficult process.
Link down below to the CT shop.
You said the CT shop.
Is that what it is? What is it?
No, the CE shop.
CE shop. Sorry.
Yeah, so I did use the CE shop online. We'll make sure to leave that link down below so you can get a discount if you want to get your license. And when I signed up with them, made it super easy. Literally just because during that time it was COVID.
Yeah.
And I had nothing else to do, so I would just do it 8 hours a day. I was just locked in to get my real estate license. So that's how I got it done within 29 days.
And how many hours typically is the training?
So every state's different. I think PA is 72 hours.
Pennsylvania, 72 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that bad. And then also, if you do get your license, then there's reciprocal states. I think I said that right. I don't know.
It sounded right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Or I haven't done the classes in so long. So after you do it, you forget everything. So other states you can go. So if I wanted to get my license in Maryland, it would be a lot easier where I wouldn't have to go through the full-on process, I believe.
Yeah.
It just depends if that's a reciprocal state. I feel like I'm saying this wrong, but let's just hope it's right.
Okay. And question for me, something you just mentioned is a little bit concerning, actually, though. Obviously, doing this business for a long time, there's a lot of stuff that you forget. And you're not actively an agent, so it's understandable for you. But when you have your license, do you have to retest every couple of years, renew the license, just to make sure that you didn't lose any of that prior knowledge from when you initially took your test?
So every 2 years, you look so serious. Just the way you look.
Are you Stephanie?
So every 2 years you do have to take continuing education, which is so easy. Like I do that on the CE shop as well. You
Yeah.
can go in person if you are a person that needs to have someone like a teacher right in front of you. You can do the whole course in person and the continuing education, but I like
Okay.
doing it online because I can literally, I mean, you can like, uh,
I know what you're
I
about to
just
say.
go through it. But
Yeah.
like, there's some people. We have someone we know that they said they use a VA to do the
Oh, I totally forgot
continuing
about that.
ed
Yeah.
for them. Which I don't do that, but I
Not
go through it.
recommended.
Yeah, but I go through it and I go through it pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I believe it. Um, Myself,
Mhm.
I've never. Well, actually, that's a lie. I was gonna say I never planned on getting my license.
Mhm.
But actually, in the very beginning, we're talking like middle school, early high school days. I did plan on getting my license. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a broker, saw all those TV shows and everything, got your hopes up.
Mhm.
Doing some of my own research later on, I've come to realize like I don't want my license. I just want to be an investor.
Yeah.
Reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, kind of realize like working for yourself, being an investor, being your own boss.
Mhm.
There's a lot of difference there, and that's kind of more the path that I wanted to go down
Yeah.
was to be an investor. For several reasons, but we won't dive into that necessarily. But as of now, the market has changed a lot. We are
Mhm.
in 2024, and versus when you had initially got your license, it's a completely different time,
Right.
right? So we've had some big spikes in real estate. We've had some major slowdowns, you could say,
Mhm.
some huge rate increases, some previously a huge rate cut, housing prices through the roof.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing a numerous amount of price cuts on the market. I mean, it's really a roller coaster. It's all over the place.
Mhm.
So nowadays, versus I can well, what was your main reason for wanting to get your license? I should ask in the beginning.
I mean, I had nothing else going for me at the
Okay, cool.
time.
So
Yeah.
if you still had the same mindset you do now, but you were going into soon to be 2025, would
Mhm.
you still consider getting your license?
Got no choice because of the new
I don't understand
wholesaling.
without that, because not everybody is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
That's just
so
a Pennsylvania law that's coming up.
I probably wouldn't. I would build a relationship with a good agent
You're gonna disappoint
just
a
to.
lot of people here. They're like, but I want to be an agent.
But look, so I wouldn't just because you got to pay a whole bunch in association fees, which I mean, I think they're quarterly, and then sometimes your brokerages have the monthly fees. Then you have to pay the MLS fee. I would save all that money, have another agent pay for that, and
Yeah,
then just ask them for access for their MLS.
that's a good tip right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Spitting
They can I
facts.
think they can put you in as like an assistant or something.
Okay.
It depends on the MLS. Every MLS is different. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
that's good to know. And you did just briefly touch base on some of the new laws they're implementing for Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Outside of PA, this has already been started in South Carolina and what part of Chicago area? Is that right?
Some areas, like, I don't know exactly all of them, but
Yeah.
they're saying you need your real estate license to wholesale, which it is what it is.
It is what it is, and
Yeah.
that is the only reason that I will be getting my license here shortly. So I will actually let you guys know, how that's going as soon as I
Mhm.
start it. This law, I believe, still has about another 5 months, give or take, until it's been,
Fully passed.
yeah, fully passed, set in place for Pennsylvania. So I do have some time, but I might as well just get it done sooner than later.
Yeah, we
Same,
keep saying it, but we are gonna have an attorney come on, to talk and break down everything because
yeah.
there's so much more
Do we
to
have
it.
a set date with him yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, but it's so much more that goes into it with, like, the wholesaling, with double closes, assignments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So how was your experience as becoming a new agent? I mean, you were still very
Yeah.
young. What, you were 19 at the time?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just turned 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I started. No, I was 19 when I started the course, and then I turned 20, which I was so mad about. I was like, "Man, I should have started a little bit before, because then on my YouTube videos, I could have said, 'Got my real
Teenage.
estate license at 19 years old.'" It just sounds better.
Yeah.
Um, but overall, it was very welcoming, I would say. A lot of people like seeing newer people, like the new generation coming into the business. I already started, like, reaching out to brokerages because I wanted to have, like, a head start
Yeah.
once I got my real estate license after I took the exam. Now, in regards to the exams, like, you have to make sure you are studying. Like, I was fully locked in. I was watching Prep Agent on YouTube, just studying all his material, and then the CE shop also had, like, practice stuff that I could go through, so just doing that, flashcards and stuff. So I did pass my state exam. No, I passed my national exam on the first try. I think by like 1 point.
Oh.
And then yeah, very scary.
What percentage do you have to get on that to pass?
I don't even know.
No.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But I think the national is like 80 something questions or 100. I don't know. It's up there. The national is up there.
Yeah.
But then the state was like 23 or 25 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So you really don't have a wide radius to get.
There's no margin of error there.
Yeah. So it took me 3 times to pass that one.
The
But
state one? Okay.
Yep.
What's the main difference between national versus state?
Just like, I don't
Just the
know.
types of questions.
Yeah,
Like, every state obviously has their own laws and everything, so I'm sure
Yeah.
that's part of it.
Yeah, like if I were to take that test tomorrow, I would fail.
Yeah?
Honestly,
For a fact?
I probably would fail.
Okay.
Like they'll talk about
But if you
meets
need
and
an agent,
bounds
hit her
and
up.
stuff. Yeah, like well, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like every agent would fail if they had that test taken.
Yeah, unless they just, like, recently passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right.
I know, I completely agree. I mean, a lot of the agents that they're doing, couple dozen transactions per year.
Yeah.
A lot
Like
of them.
what's 1 acre in square footage?
Wait, 1 acre in square footage. That was 40. Was it 46,000?
Yeah. It's 46,000 and some change. I don't know.
727.
No, I think it's 46,005 something.
5 something.
Wait, can we look this up real quick?
Yeah, let me
to
look it
see?
up. Hold on, I got you.
46,005. They'll ask you that. But honestly, when it comes to real estate, all you need to know is how to calculate your commission.
Pause. Buddy from work just texted me.
Yeah.
His name's Ryan. Shout out Ryan in case he ever watches this.
Yeah.
He got an appraisal on his house yesterday.
Mhm.
It came back today.
That's crazy.
Why do we have to wait 2 to 3 weeks every time we get an appraisal?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, what's our question? The square footage in
Square
an
footage.
acre?
Oh shoot.
So you had the 5 right, but we were both wrong about 46. What is it?
43,560. Just had the numbers
43,560.
mixed up a little bit. Let's see. I don't remember. So.
See, we're failing.
Yeah.
But is there a lot of?
You're failing. I already
I'm
passed.
guaranteed failing. I don't know all the legal stuff behind being an agent. I just know how to make numbers work sometimes.
Yeah. Once you're locked in, pass it, you're smooth.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, going back to getting the license, people like seeing new people. Even if you're older, you're fine. Get your real estate license. You're gonna have to if you're in PA. If you want to wholesale.
Right.
But yeah, after I got my real estate license, went on with the brokerage. I'm not gonna say the brokerage's name.
No, go ahead.
Because I didn't like them.
Yeah. No, we know.
People can see. But they did like onboarding and everything like that. We had to go through like listing presentations, like go in front of everyone.
Why did you choose them initially?
I don't know. I think because it felt like homey.
Okay, it was just a little bit more welcoming than some of the previous ones.
The other one I did interview a Coldwell Banker, or they interviewed me. It's both. Like you're interviewing them while they're also interviewing you.
Right.
And I mean, nice people, but it just felt way too corporate-y for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. You also want to make sure you're asking about like the fees. What do you have monthly fees? Do you have what is it? Like a franchise fee, which those big brokerages will have a franchise fee. You just got to see what percentage it is. There's so many fees. You just want to make sure you ask about.
Yeah.
And then also like what's your commission split? Is it a 60-40? Is it a 80-20? Whatever the case may be.
What do you think the average is typically?
For a new person, probably 60-40.
Okay.
If you're getting 50, that's low for a new person.
That is 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's like a good target to have for a split?
100%.
Oh, is that possible? Do people get 100%?
I think Iron Valley does 100%. You just have to pay a monthly fee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out Iron Valley then.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
They've actually been blowing up a
on
lot.
the East Coast though.
Yeah. No, I see them everywhere though. It's like 1 out of every 5 houses now listed through Iron Valley. Which is crazy because 5-10 years ago, I've never even heard of them.
I think they're gonna be well competed with like Keller Williams. They're coming up there because they're like a modern.
Who do you think's the biggest?
Probably Berkshire.
Absolutely Berkshire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remax is pretty damn big though.
Remax too.
Remax is.
But I feel like Berkshire may beat Remax.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you looked at the price of Berkshire stock lately?
Mm-mm.
Insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It'd be
insane.
nice if they gave their agents stock.
Tell me about it. So
Yeah.
you get one share. It's like I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm good to
How
go.
much is it?
Dude, I think last time I checked, it was like 450,000.
No way.
You might have to edit this out if I'm way off, but that was some.
Don't edit it.
Let's see.
Do you be trading too?
I check the market every day just because I'm addicted to it. But
Yeah.
no, I don't have no money to play with.
The life of a real estate investor.
Tell me about it. Maybe if I was an agent, it would be different.
Probably were. So,
Oh,
oh really? Keller Williams. Oh shoot. So you said Keller Williams is the
Berkshire
biggest.
Hathaway, currently 641,000 a share.
Wow.
Absolutely insane.
That is crazy. Now, eXp Realty, they do give you shares. And you don't have to opt into it. I did opt into it.
Yeah.
Disclosure, I am not with eXp no more.
Ooh, bum, bum,
Ooh.
bum.
Yeah.
What happened?
Wait, we're like all over the place. Yeah.
It's a good conversation, though.
Yeah. For eXp, when did I leave? Last month? I
Yeah,
think
it was very
last month.
recent.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason I joined them, number one, it just made more sense. I feel like because my social media presence, and
Okay.
you can have people come on under you and kind of be a mentor towards them,
Mhm.
which is nice. But ever since I started like diving more into the investing side of things, it's like I don't even have the drive, I guess, or desire to be like a mentor or a teacher on the agent side of things.
Yeah.
And I want to, if I am going to do that, I want to make sure I'm giving that person everything,
Of course. Yeah.
so I don't want people coming under me. And it was like,
Right, because we've had mentors in the past through being an investor where you can tell, like, in the beginning, they start off strong and
Yeah.
then they kind of fade away and just, like, half-ass it, per
Yeah.
se. It's like your students aren't going to be encouraged or motivated by if their mentor, like this
Mhm.
person that they're looking up to, isn't giving it their all and like showing you that, hey, this is possible and like this is the hard work that you got to put in. They
Yeah.
kind of just leave you on the back burner. It's like you're going to fail unless you find another mentor or you just have that motivation deep inside of you.
Yeah. So that's why, like, even with investing right now, a lot of people ask, like, can you mentor or do you want to mentor? I'm like, no, maybe
Yeah.
in the future, because we're so focused on like what we have and we
Right.
still have a lot of building to do.
Even I get asked that and I have zero social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the podcast.
probably.
You never know. But yeah, that was a benefit, just being able to help others in that aspect.
Mhm.
They also, I think right when I signed on, I was an 80-20 split automatically.
For
So,
EXP.
yep.
Okay, that's a good
I
split.
did not start. So like I started with the one brokerage
Right.
and they were not it. I left after probably 3 months. Then I went to Berkshire Hathaway. I loved them. Shout out to Berkshire Hathaway. The reason I left was because those big brokerages, they want to see you do deals constantly. But when I transitioned just to focus on investing, it's like I don't
They-
want them up my butt about doing deals constantly. Where EXP, they're more like you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
They're more laid
Like,
back.
just put your license here.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's great for an investor because they're making money on your monthly fee, which is like $90
They're
a
winning
month.
either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I
Okay.
don't think Berkshire had a monthly fee, but I don't know. It's a franchise, so every franchise
Gotcha.
fees are going to be different if you have a Berkshire in your state.
And do you think? Okay, I mean, no, that's a great explanation of everything.
Oh, I forgot to say why I left.
Right.
So
Sorry.
I left because the fees were piling up and our finances were like, eh. So I was like, a friend of ours, he has a brokerage not too far. And I was like, he was like, I don't got no monthly fees. You don't got to do nothing. I was
Also,
like,
currently our new mentor.
yeah.
So
Shout out to Navid.
we'll
And
get him on a podcast here soon.
oh yeah, we still have to get him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just joined his brokerage and we running it.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Now, if you were to jump in, let's say you're in my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily my shoes. Let's say you fast forward to present day, but you don't have your license yet. You're really
Mhm.
thinking about it. Do you think it would be easier now to become a successful real estate agent, or do you think it would have been easier back when you had started? At least for our current location,
Our current location, like,
just Pennsylvania,
is it
because
easier now to
every market's so different.
be successful than when I got my license?
Right.
I feel like in 2020, I feel like it was a little iffy, and then the deals would sell so much faster, but it would
Yeah.
just be hard to get listings. But But now it's like there's properties that are sitting, but still there are some buyers out there. It's
Right.
it's a little bit iffy. I feel like if I gave up investing and focused fully on being an agent, I could definitely, like, I know I could be successful with being an agent
Yeah.
if I gave it my all, but
Okay.
that's just not where my heart's at.
No, I feel you
Yeah.
completely. Um, Now I will say, like, the whole theme of this podcast
Mhm.
is it worth it to get your license now, right?
Yeah.
So there's obviously me some main factors that play into that. One of them is going to be your location.
Mhm.
One of them is going to be the actual market where, like, are things hot currently? Are they slowing down? What are
Mhm.
the interest rates looking like? Where interest rates are more of like a national wide, kind of
Yeah.
thing, but still. And what are some other like big factors that play into your thought process behind if you should get your license or not?
I would say number 1 is your goals. Like,
I was gonna say goals,
yeah,
motivation. Yep.
right. So, I mean, going back to the cons of like, oh, you can go and be your own boss and stuff like that. No, once you get your real estate license, and more likely you're gonna start working with buyers first. And
Right.
it's good to work with both sides so you know how to handle both sides of the transaction. Because sometimes you're gonna work with buyers, sometimes it may be sellers.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have buyers call you. It could be whatever time in the day. Hey, I want to go see this property, and they have their own work schedule, so you got to kind of go based off their schedule. And it could be a Sunday. They say they want to see a property at 2 o'clock. The offer deadline could be 5 o'clock that Sunday. You got no choice, but you're obligated. Your fiduciary duty is to go show them that property and schedule that appointment so they can see it. Just for them to say, I don't like what they put on the walls here, or I don't like the drop ceiling or
Are
the
people really
flooring.
that picky when it comes to these
Some
houses?
people maybe more so on the outlay of the property. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Like the floor
Maybe
plan.
that, yeah, the floor plan. But no, there's picky people.
Yeah.
There is picky people.
Well, there's picky people with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that you're never your own boss, even with listings. Like, there's always going to be a seller that calls you on the weekend or whatever case may be, after hours if you're with your family on a weekday.
Yeah.
So I don't like that you really don't have your freedom. Whereas the investing side of things, it's
Right.
like we do our follow-up calls when we want. And if the person calls us back and we don't want to answer, that's on us.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna hurt our
It's
business.
going to hurt the
So
business,
we
but
better answer. But
yeah,
at the
we're going
same
to
time,
answer.
it's not
But
like a requirement.
yeah, right.
Right.
Like, you don't have to answer to someone where the agent has to answer to the buyer and the seller. Like, we
Mhm.
just answer to ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So that brings up a good question though. Your fiduciary duties,
Mhm.
right? So there's often times where we end up working with a realtor
Mhm.
for whatever reason. Like let's say we are wholesaling a property and we find a buyer, but that buyer is already working with a licensed agent.
Yeah.
So we have to communicate through that realtor per se. What if the realtor doesn't get back to us?
Something we're going through right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's kind of what made me think of this idea because, like, yeah, you have your duties and everything, and obviously you were supposed to abide by those.
Right.
So, is there any kind of, I don't want to say like punishments, but is there any kind of like recoil for if you're not following through with those?
I mean, the buyer could go to the real estate commission and kind of report you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything from the seller standpoint that could be?
Mm. Yeah, but ours isn't like,
No, I mean, we're not going to
yeah.
throw a fit by any
Yeah.
means, but I'm just curious.
But yeah, I mean, if a seller thinks you're doing wrong by your
Not
client,
communicating or.
then they
Yeah.
could go, anyone could go up to the real estate commission
Okay.
and report you,
Yeah.
and your license could be at risk.
Do you know of any circumstances where that's happened before?
I mean, someone we had on the pod, they said he gets reported
Oh,
all the
well,
time.
we know he gets reported. Just that's
Yeah.
based off of just personality. Like,
Yeah.
not personality, but
Just
just
from people
the
hating,
yeah, just the way
honestly.
he does his things.
Yeah.
It's definitely different.
Actually, 2 people. It was 2 people. Yeah.
Two people that got
That said
reported.
it on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I know what you're
Yeah.
saying.
But like, are you saying in particular to something else?
No, it's more of a general thing.
Actually, yo, I had this thing for my first fix and flip. Um, Jay actually, shout out to Jay. Yo, he reported the one agent,
For
um,
what?
the one on the buy side. What did she do? Yo, that's gonna bother me. She did something. Oh, this is what she did. So we got staging for the property,
Right.
right? This is my first fix and flip. Like, I'm already stressed. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with, just with us, like the partnership, and everything was fine. Everything came, you know,
Yeah, it came to be.
yeah,
It worked out.
it worked out, right?
Right.
And we got staging for the property, got buyers. Property went 25 over asking price,
Yeah.
so
Those are
amazing,
great.
right? And we closed on the property. I forgot to call the stager to come pick up all the stuff,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that's on me. That was my fault.
Yeah.
But we knew the stuff was still there. So I'm calling the buyer agent. I'm like, hey, just want to make sure like all this stuff's still there and stuff like that, just so the stager can come pick it up. She was like, no, it's not there anymore. Like, what in the world? Like, that staging I think costs
That's
2 grand or
that's like
something.
thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Yeah, very expensive. And she was basically saying like nothing's there, blah blah blah. I can't remember if she caught an attitude or not, but I think it was more so of her saying nothing was there and it was there. Like, turns
What?
out the buyers put it in the garage and were trying to take the stuff, and it was
Oh,
just
no
the
way.
honesty was just not right.
Well,
She wasn't
you
owning
deserve
up
to be
to her
reported.
fiduciary.
Yeah, you deserve to be reported at that
So
point.
he was like, "Nah, I'm not playing." So
No, not at all. Like, that's
yeah,
actually messed up.
yeah,
I understand she was trying to help the buyers, like, get some free things,
yeah,
but
but nah,
still, yeah, no, not at all.
yeah.
Okay. And as far as our current 2024 markets,
Hmm.
do you think it is slowed down, sped up, plateaued?
That's the thing. I feel like when you're not in in it day to day, you kind of don't know what's going on with the agent side of things. So I don't know if there's properties where there's multiple of offers or stuff
Right.
like that. So, but that doesn't mean I can't say if someone's going to be successful within a business or not. Like, there's always going to be closings happening every single day. There's going to be people buying and selling every single day, no matter what,
Yeah.
whether that's land or property.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just my thought on that.
Okay.
You just got to really be locked in if you want to be successful.
I was gonna bring that up, like, kind of spiral this conversation into that, where I was gonna say I think that anybody is capable of being successful as an agent,
Hmm.
but I definitely think there's certain characteristics that somebody is more likely to become successful with if
Mm,
they, have these,
yeah.
such as like motivation, drive, like a real why or
Hmm.
solid goals, um,
Good personality.
extroverted
Yeah.
for sure. 'Cause, I mean, that's all you're doing as an agent. Like, you're constantly talking to people, whether it's a buyer or
And you
listing
can be an
agent.
introvert too. You can be both. Like, I'm an introvert at heart.
Yeah, at heart,
Yeah.
but you're capable of, like, still
Stepping
putting
outside
yourself
of my
out there,
shell. Yeah.
right? Where it's like if you are somebody who you don't like talking to, well, it's not that you don't like,
No, if
you
you're an introvert and
refuse,
you're super shy, like,
yeah,
you're just like,
like you refuse to
yeah.
go talk to people. It's like, like this house is for sale back here.
Hmm.
It's like, no,
Then,
that ain't gonna work, right?
Right.
Okay, what other kind of characteristics do you think would be desirable for a successful agent to possess?
Hmm. I feel like I don't want to say organized because I know a lot of people. There's people that are unorganized but still successful.
Yeah,
Um,
at that point, you just need to hire somebody to keep
just
you
hire,
managed.
yeah, an assistant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, motivated, driven. Those are definitely
I
two.
think that's pretty much it.
Because it's like you're not your own boss per
Hmm.
se, but you are also the only one that's actually creating that kind of momentum
Yeah.
to be able to close these deals and find the buyers or find the sellers. You know.
Yeah. So if you can't answer to yourself, if you can't like if you can't answer to yourself, then you don't respect yourself. You have to literally get that 9 to 5 to work for that boss.
Yeah,
Because people will get up for a boss
but
and
won't
not
get
get
up for
up.
themselves.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
What's the quotes? You are your biggest enemy.
Hmm.
You heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget who said that. So don't copyright or whatever.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
what we
So
touched based on. Is there anything else that we missed?
um, kind of just we have the elections coming up, so that could definitely change some things in the market itself.
Hmm.
It's not really too related to agents.
I will say being a part-time agent is tough.
Yeah,
That's gonna be tough.
I was
Like,
gonna.
you literally have to be locked in. And for people that are younger, you definitely have that advantage if you're like still home with your parents because you don't have risks. Like, you
There's
don't
like no
have
mandatory
kids.
bills for you to
Unless you do
pay.
have kids, I don't know. But like, if you don't have kids, it's a lot easier. You don't have to worry about all these bills.
Yeah,
Um, just stay under your parents' phone bill, the car insurance, whatever,
Yeah.
to save a lot of money, and then just go full force with being an agent. But if you're older, that's when it gets a little bit more difficult. You can still get your name out there, but I feel like the momentum is gonna build even slower. Whereas if you're fully locked in and you're full time, that's where you can build that momentum fast and then start seeing the fruits of your labor faster.
Okay.
And when I say faster, because look, I started full time and I was 24/7 every single day, 400 calls a day. Like I documented my whole journey. Still took me 9 months to get that first deal.
Yeah.
And it was 9 long months where, like, my third, fourth month, I was like, I don't even know if this is for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll question yourself where it's going to be tough, not getting paid because you're only getting paid based off commission. And then you still have all these expenses of the association, the MLS fees and stuff like that
The
coming out.
software programs you're using to market.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know if I should do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get a part-time job. I was just making money from YouTube on the side, and that was it.
That's still a blessing though. Not
Yeah.
many people can say that.
It wasn't crazy though.
Yeah. Something
Like
though.
$700, I think, a month or something at that time.
Shit, that's good, yeah. Like that ain't bad.
It's not too bad, but yeah, once you get that first deal, then it's like, all right, it's proof of concept and you start getting some more deals, start rolling in. But another thing is like, I think this comes with time, which we were talking about this on the team call, was
Okay.
controlling your emotions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like in the beginning, I was kind of all over the place where little things may stress me out.
Mhm.
And I remember on my birthday, when was it? It was 2021 on my birthday. I did not want to do anything. There was a buyer that was like, I want to buy this house. This was it my first offer?
Did you not fulfill your
It
fiduciary
wasn't my
duty?
first offer. No, I was locked in
Oh, okay.
and everyone was off. And I didn't know what I was doing and I was so stressed out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got this deadline coming up. I don't know what I'm doing." And yo, I started crying and
Oh,
that
for real?
never yeah, it was so bad.
Yeah.
I just like after my mentor finally got on the phone with me, he walked me through it and I sent it out. I was like, I didn't want to do anything on my birthday that day. I was like, this is it,
Yeah.
But ever since once you start doing things, then it becomes easier and easier.
Right.
But as you self-develop more and like read more podcasts and stuff like we were talking about,
Yep.
that's when it's like, okay, like it's just all like a game. Like you just have to learn how to control your emotions. That's the main thing of business. So whenever we're doing stuff now or we run into big issues, I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think that if you are acting out of emotion, you're
Mhm.
gonna regret some things that you do or say,
Yeah.
right? Because the way that you're acting out is just strictly based off of like a natural whatever you're feeling inside is gonna reciprocate, whether it's
Mhm.
in actions or words. But if you do have the capability of stepping back from that scenario, you can start thinking more clear headed. You kind of push the emotions
Mhm.
behind you, and you really just think about what would be the best thing or best
Scenario.
case
Yeah.
instance, for this scenario, whatever's going on, right?
Right.
That was really weird to frame. Anyways, but yeah, it's like because something that I had brought up on the team call is there was I think that anybody who jumps into real estate initially, you're gonna have
Mhm.
a boatload of rejection. You're not gonna be used to it
Yeah.
unless you already had some kind of sales
Job.
prior sales job, yeah. So for me myself, I didn't have any of that sales job experience, whatnot,
Mhm.
and I'm not used to being rejected like that. Like everyone has gone through rejection in
Yeah.
one way or another, but not on such a large scale, such as when you're doing outbound
Mhm.
marketing. And there was this one time where we had I'm the one that takes in all the probate calls, right?
Mhm.
So probates are a very sensitive subject. Someone's loved one passed away recently. It's an inherited property, right? So we'll go through the courthouse, public records, pull these properties, I think on a daily basis. Well, Sheila. Anyways, go through, create a list,
Mhm.
whatnot, send out some direct mail, and then I will receive any inbound calls coming from those probates. There's a lot of times, I'd say a majority of these times, it's somebody calling me just to cuss me out. Be like, "You're so up. Like, I
Mhm.
can't believe you're like trying to buy my house. Like, my mother had just passed away." And it's like, no, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry that that had happened to you. If you're not ready for it, I completely understand. If you
Mhm.
need any help, just know I'm here. Right.
But some people are super thankful,
Some people are extremely thankful though.
Yeah.
Like some of the most connective transactions that we've done, like in
Mhm.
terms of relationship, have been
Yeah.
through probates.
Right.
Because it's like the person could be in just a complete mess where
Mhm.
it's like my mother had just passed away. I have this property. I don't know what to do with it. There's still a mortgage. I can't afford this house and my house. Like it's in a complete disaster. It's not ready to be listed. I don't want to pay agent fees. I don't
Yeah.
want to pay closing costs. I don't have time to wait. Like there's so many other factors that can play into it.
Mhm.
Where it's like someone like ourselves can come along and actually help somebody through a process like this. Kind of like be their mentor, like guide them,
Yeah.
take it step by step, talk to them, try to ease them because we've been through this before. So there are a lot of thankful people. But this one time I was at work and I got a call from a
Mhm.
random number, typically a probate. So I picked it up and, this is like still very early on, but I was trying to remain as professional as possible. So dude answers, or dude's calling me. I pick it up. I'm like, hello. He's like, hey. I don't remember exactly how the conversation went.
Mhm.
Either way, it was just like he was being an extreme dickhead,
Yeah.
to put it bluntly. Um, it was just minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes of me just like kind of listening and like trying to be nice. And he's just like playing this game where he was like, so do you know what property it is? I'm like, no, like, can you please tell me the address?
Since you're not looking at it, since you're still at
Exactly.
work.
Like I have
Yeah.
no idea. There's just a random number calling me and just
Yeah.
getting cussed out, right? But no, I'm just like remain professional and be like, I appreciate you giving me a call. Like if you're not interested, I completely understand. Like no
Mhm.
worries. And he's like still just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And then I start to get like worked up, right?
Yeah.
Because this is still in the beginning. I'm not used to this. I'm just like, all right. And like
Mhm.
I either hang up or he hangs up or somehow that conversation ends. And I go about it. I'm like, go back to work, picking up some boxes, whatnot, put on my forklift, and
Yeah.
then it's it's itching. It's itching in my head.
He's living in your head
He's
rent
living in it
free.
rent free, and I'm just like, you
Yeah.
know what? I go
Yeah.
back, right, and this is exactly where I messed up, and I let my emotions get the best of me.
Yeah.
Where I had then went and texted him. I was like, "So are you interested in selling?"
Mhm.
Right? Just to be a dickhead, and completely wrong of me. But so he texts me back. He was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He was like, "That's it." He was like, went through. He had located where I lived. He had located every relative of my family, like
Mhm.
seeing where they live, whatnot. He's like, "I'm coming there." He's like, "I'm gonna blow that bitch up. Like I'm
Oh,
showing you all."
shoot.
Like he was not playing. Like he wanted to
Dang.
kill us, right? Because I pushed him to that
Yeah.
edge, but he already called me with like some
There's crazy people
pure
out there.
hatred.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So that's one time, for instance, where it's like if I would have just remained professional,
Mhm.
not reciprocated those hateful feelings towards this individual,
Yeah.
and acted out in the way that I did, then I wouldn't have to deal with the repercussions of him going through finding my location and my
Mhm.
family and whatnot. And it's like just remain professional. And because I didn't, I mean, technically, like I put myself and even my family at risk, which is not something that you should ever intentionally do.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, it's really you have to start thinking logically. And after that instance, I think is when I really was able to turn off my emotions. Like
Mhm.
I really should have not done that. Like that then lived in my head rent free for like the entire day. It's like
Yeah.
I messed up. Like why did I do that? And
Mhm.
ever since then, I've been much more cautious of it.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to get yourself into that instance because just imagine if an individual actually did take it to that extent where like
Mhm.
they show up at your house and
Oh, yeah.
they can do whatever they want from there. That's whatever they do,
Yeah.
right?
It
So
can
it's
get scary.
exactly. So, no, that's a great point, especially as like a new agent. If you are looking to become an agent, that's something that you're going to have to practice. And just if you need to cry every now and then, like step outside the room, go get
Give
a couple.
Skyler a call.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. Yeah, but don't cry the entire time. It's annoying. But, no, yeah, completely though. Like get those
Yeah.
emotions out if you need to, and just get right back to it. Put
Mhm.
a smile on your face. Start making those calls,
Yeah.
and eventually, you're gonna get people who appreciate it. It's like, no, I needed this help,
Yeah.
or whatever situation it might be.
Yeah. We definitely went out of our comfort zones. Just I mean, I'm thinking of, like, when we went to Walmart and we would just walk up to
Oh, that was
people.
yeah.
Yeah, door knocking, doing that stuff.
Hmm.
Recently, I think it was a month or 2 months ago, you showed me this one house in Harrisburg at the top of the hill, and oh my
I didn't
gosh,
like that one,
like, it
Steph.
looks like it's in California. Like,
Yeah,
it should be in California, but it's in Harrisburg, PA, and I was like, "Yo, we should go
it's like an LA
see
house
what."
for
Yeah.
sure.
I was like, "Yo, we should go see what she does for a living," or he, or whoever,
Yeah.
like, see what the owner does
Okay.
for a living. Cause there's those videos of like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Let's do it." You're like, "Nah, let's
I think
not
a
do
lot of
it."
those are scripted. That's why I was like, I don't think this is the best idea.
But I was like, Nah, we're here. We're doing it.
I'm like, all right. And we were
Yeah.
already actually we were dressed up pretty nice already from coming from an all day real estate event. So I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? It's the only time that I'm really dressed up. Like, fine, let's go do it.
And the driveway was a long, like,
Dude,
hill.
my
Like,
heart was like,
we had a heart, like, a workout just going up the
get to
driveway
the
there.
top and like knock on this door, like,
And when I tell you the door was like,
oh my
that
gosh.
door is huge.
Dude, it was like easily from like this hand to like your face. Like, it was so wide.
No, it was further than that. It had
Yeah,
to be
it
bigger.
was insane.
Yeah. Knock
Yeah,
on it.
absolutely beautiful house.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna say
And
that.
she was not with it.
No, she was not with it. I mean, she
Yeah.
had opened the door. Very, very nice woman. There's not much to this story whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much had said like, hey, like I know this is really random. I
Yeah.
just wanted to come by and say like I absolutely love your property. It's
Mhm.
beautiful.
We're just curious what you do for a living.
Yeah, you jumped in immediately and said that, and I was
Yeah.
like, that was too soon. Like we gotta warm up
This
a
was
little
our
bit.
first time doing the what do you do for a living.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was like the first thing you said. That was like, what do you do for a living? And she was like, she like took a step back, started
She
looking
probably
around.
thought we were about to rob her or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. So I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, please, like, it's not weird.
Yeah.
It's not like
You're
that.
like,
Like,
alright.
we're just curious, like, how were you able to acquire this property and,
Mhm.
build this house? Like, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
She wasn't having it. She closed
Yeah.
the door. We were like, all right,
Yeah.
on to the
Had
next.
our long walk down the driveway.
That is a
Yeah.
beautiful home though.
But it's good because it gets you outside of your comfort zone. Like, you have to challenge yourself. You can't just be
Yeah.
inside that zone all the time.
Yeah.
You're never gonna grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So what kind of goals do you think you would need to have in order to be an agent versus an investor?
Hmm. I don't know. It's dependent upon the person.
I keep burping. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough to say, honestly. For me, it was when I had that sit down with the investor. He asked me my goals. I said I want 30 by 30. He was like, how are you going to get that? By being an agent. I was like, you're right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as far as an investor, that's a fantastic goal to have. But as
Mhm.
an agent, that doesn't align.
Oh, we're going to get even more before 30.
Oh, obviously,
Yeah.
we're more than halfway there.
Right now we're at
We're at
14, about to be 15.
16.
16.
2 unit.
Yeah. And it's been a year since we bought our first one.
Yeah,
A little over a year.
it's like a year,
year
and
and 3 months.
yeah,
2 months.
2 months.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is awesome. Um, I'm just trying to think of like some goals that an agent could have where that's like specific for, oh, I should be an agent.
I mean, the nice thing about being an agent is you have no cap on the amount of money you can make.
Yeah, no,
You can make as
absolutely.
much money as you want, but there's going to be a limit for the amount of money you can make by yourself. Like, you're going to have to build
Build
a
your
team
team.
around you,
Yeah,
get an assistant or a transaction coordinator to make sure they handle all the paperwork and stuff like that. But make sure you know your contracts too, just so you don't get tied up with legal issues.
yeah, it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
I would say honestly, if you just have this overall goal where it's like, I want to find people their dream home or
Yeah.
like something along those lines, and you specifically want to become an agent in a certain market where it's
Mhm.
like, this is like where people go to buy their dream house or they buy their plot of land and they can build their dream house.
Yeah.
And like that's something you truly desire.
Like pure enjoyment from
That's
that.
that's exactly what I could see though. Like I
Yeah.
could see somebody being like, this makes me feel so good. It's like I was able to help this entire family find their dream home. Like they're gonna be here the next 30 years. They're
Yeah.
gonna raise their own families in here. Like that's a joyful experience
People
to
love
have.
that, especially like first time home buyers. Like a lot of agents love working towards, working with them because it's the first time they're buying a home. So,
Yeah.
have excitement towards that.
And you can really act as like a good mentor for a first time home buyer where
Mhm.
they're kind of going into this whole home buying process a lot of times just blank. They're like open minded and they have no idea of the process or
Mhm.
what it would even look like to buy your first home or kind of what different options you would have when it comes to financing or
Yeah.
location or anything of that nature. So definitely that could be somebody's goal if you're wanting to be an agent.
But I will say, if you are like a seller watching this or a buyer watching this, I would not work with an agent that does not have any experience within like investing.
Oh no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And here's kind of a good tip too is if you are looking for an agent that's specific in investing, outside of going through and calling a bunch of agents in your local
Check out
market,
Bigger Pockets.
check out Bigger Pockets,
Yeah.
Agent Finder,
Yeah.
where they actually any agent who has specifically worked with investors or even interested in investing, they will go through the Bigger Pockets and they'll kind of enter in their information and their business card into their platform. Then
Yeah.
you kind of can scroll through, search your market, and it'll show you all the agents that specialize in investing.
And the reason I say that is because there's agents out there that do not know every strategy when it comes to, like, the traditional agents. They don't know every strategy when it comes to real estate. Whereas an
Yeah.
investor agent, they know just about almost every strategy, which they can do the traditional side, but also the investing, like, creative side of things. We did go run into it wasn't an issue. It's just, you know, we asked the agent, like, hey, the only way we can make this work if we did like a creative financing type of deal, which I think at that time was a novation for this house in Harrisburg City.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, like, I haven't heard of that before. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm having to explain where this stuff should probably be relayed in real estate school.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
they should know about seller financing. A lot of agents don't know about seller financing
Mm-hmm.
or subject to, or novations
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah.
Or wholesaling. Like, people think wholesaling is a scam.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
A lot of agents think it's a
No,
scam.
it's just a whole nother business.
Yeah.
It's very similar to being an agent, but also completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was some. Oh, I was gonna say this kind of pissed me off, but speaking of the Bigger Pockets,
Mm-hmm.
David Green is no longer the host of the Bigger Pockets.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had
Who is
episode.
it? Howard? Is that his name?
Who?
Howard. I think his name's Howard. I don't know.
No.
Oh, Henry. Henry.
Henry Washington.
Yeah. Is
No, he's still like featured as like a co-host
Yeah.
every now and then. And Rob built.
Is he still on it?
No, he's
So who
also
is?
off. It is Dave Meyer
Okay.
and Dave Meyer is like the analytic person, and then the actual CEO of Bigger Pockets, not Josh. There's a guy, I forget his name.
So what do? They just go back to investing, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, well, we want to switch up the whole platform a little bit and
Mhm.
whatnot. And then I saw David Green, like, so I watched this episode like freshly released. Like,
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty on that with the Bigger Pockets just because I
Right.
love it. And I was like, what? No more David? Like, they
Mhm.
started talking about it, and then like a couple hours later, I go to Instagram, I see David Green's post. He's like, It was a little bit like,
Stepping down from being a host.
no, it was more like they like kicked me out kind of
Wow.
message. He was like, but I'm creating my own podcast, so
There you
go
go.
check out the David Green podcast, blah, blah, blah. I
Yeah.
was like, hey, you get it,
That's
David.
crazy.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder what happened there. And like, they still said that David would be brought on as a co-host every now and then and like
Yeah.
features. So I hope there's no like animosity or beef there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no clue.
A tear just starts coming down your eye.
Yeah, I was like, I love that guy. Well, first it was with Brandon Turner because I
Yeah.
absolutely like love
But
Brandon
he
Turner.
left on his own, I think.
Yeah, I think he did too. I
Yeah.
think the podcasting just got to be too much, and he was really looking to scale.
Mhm.
So that was like his choice. David Green, not exactly sure.
Yeah.
Seems like it was more one way than the other. I
Right.
can't say. And this is completely aside from any agent and investing stuff.
Mhm.
But in case you watch Bigger Pockets, you know what I'm talking about.
But I guess going back to if getting a real estate license is worth it, I will say if you think that it's a guaranteed business where you're going to make money and
If you're
it's going to
competitive,
come into your lap, then it's not for you.
yeah, if you're competitive, if you're motivated, if you have a good understanding of the markets, if
Mhm.
you
You don't
genuinely
even need to have a good understanding because that can be
It'll c-
developed.
over time,
Yeah.
and if you genuinely want to help people, I would say those are like the key things to be a successful real estate
Go
agent.
for it. Yeah.
Right. Where if you are just looking to strictly just make as much money as possible, you might be better off as an investor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do want to wholesale in the state of PA, you're gonna have to get your license either way.
Yeah. Like Stephanie said, we will talk more about that on a future podcast.
Yeah.
We're setting it up with I'm not gonna say his name yet because it'll be a big surprise. It's a big surprise because he's a really cool person and he's very knowledgeable on this topic.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that episode.
But yeah, let us know if you guys do have your real estate license in the comments or if you're thinking about getting it. Hopefully this episode helped. We didn't go too in depth with like brokerages because there's so many different brokerages.
Ooh, there's a lot.
But yeah, that could be a whole nother episode, how to interview brokerages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this video, this podcast. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Go subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Check out the Instagram and TikTok as well.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of videos on Instagram and TikTok, like all our shorts and everything, but that hasn't seemed to blown up yet,
Yeah.
which, it is what it is. Shit takes time.
Life goes
But
on.
you guys go help that out.
Yeah. But with that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.